Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I last put out a new video, but I had a lot of things going on with school, family, plus a whole bunch of things I don't care to go into at the moment. But now that all that drama has gotten better in my life, I'm back to make more YouTube content for you guys. So in today's video, we will be having a nice reveal about episode 181 of Unordinary. All I can say is about time that we get to see John's backstory and what type of person he was back then. Took Guru-chan a lot of episodes to get to this point in the webtoon. Nonetheless, I still appreciate the work she puts out for us. Don't worry everybody, I am working on another Unordinary ability discussion video. Just watch out, because it's gonna be out in a few days. The episode starts off with Claire opening up about how she first met John for the first time at the start of their middle school days. John and Claire seem to have gotten into some kind of fight after introducing themselves to each other. We are then shown Adrian, a friend John has known for a long time since they were little. Adrian, John, and Claire were all low tier, so they all got along because of that one commonality between them. And they function essentially like normal friends. As I remember, Adrian said in episode 44 that before even meeting John, Claire had a vision that he would be the strongest. But in Claire's story, her first vision of John is him first using his ability. All I can say about that is that they both can't be right. But that aside, I hope to hear more about Adrian since he has known John the longest. You know, when I see John, Adrian, Claire, it reminds me of Blake, Isen, and Remy a little bit. You guys know, like, do any of you guys get that kind of feeling? Because it gets me thinking that it reminds John of what he once was in like his middle school days. Maybe he feels some kind of jealousy towards them. Maybe they've even given him some flashbacks from his previous days of what he used to be. Although this is only speculation on my part, but it would be a nice thing to add to a story in my opinion. John was always a fighter, even in his younger years. Although Adrian, being the one with the stronger ability out of the two, he would try to protect his friends if trouble came their way. He wasn't strong enough to always win battles, more often than not, and he would take beatdowns. Adrian and Claire don't seem like bad people in my opinion. I gotta say, I was expecting them to be like a lot more devious, like kind of like not the obvious devious, whereas like Obito from Naruto type of shit, but like Rachel from Tower of God, more or less. If you have been keeping up with the story so far, then you would know from the way John himself has been picturing them, you would think these guys were like literally always out to get him from the start. I mean, like, seriously. Plus, Adrian really turned out to be a goat for sticking up for his friends, despite being a low tier himself, which I really gotta commend him for. John chills with his friends outside. Claire was able to pick up on John's emotional state of anger and frustration. John questions why they have to deal with these beatdowns every day, while people who are born stronger than them get to do whatever they want essentially. John's friends know this is nothing new. They have accepted that there's nothing that they can do about this, opposed to John, who just can't seem to accept this way of life for himself. It's interesting to see John always had this sort of mindset, not conforming to the societal norms of the world he lives in. It really adds to his character to still be able to even think this way despite the numerous beatings he surely has taken over the years. Really makes you realize to a greater extent how messed up this system is that they have in place. A majority of people have learned to deal with a bad situation of being weak. They will learn to just accept it, and that there's no way out. Most low tiers are extremely submissive, try to stay quiet, and try not to cause trouble. They'll do almost whatever people stronger than them say, because they don't want to get beat up for disobeying their orders. This panel, in my opinion, defines the whole series, when Claire gets her vision of John. For those of you who don't know, Claire has precognition, an ability to let you see into the future. She then goes to John's house to let him know of her vision. I laughed when Claire really burst into a teenage boy's room without knocking. Like, man, she don't know what she's gonna see, but luckily she didn't catch anything. All he was doing was just playing some cards. Claire tells him about the vision she had of him using the ability while his eyes were glowing. Instead of being happy about this, John is hesitant about the news. John couldn't believe her. Claire knew that what she was saying could have sounded stupid, especially for someone like John. In reality, after hearing about this, John would sometimes wander off to see if he could possibly get his ability to work. As you know, John doesn't want to be weak anymore and get stronger so that he can finally be able to defend himself. Unordinary, more than any other piece of fiction I have read personally, is pushing John from a happy-go-lucky character to a rightly vengeful character. I keep expecting him to snap out of it and show him that he is good deep down. I have big respect for Uru-chan for making the central character so controversial. This is exactly why I loved with Stain versus the pro heroes in My Hero Academia. The kind of moral ambiguity and the dancing between the lines is a type of thing that I really love in fiction. So I don't really know these bullies' names, so I'll just call them Purple Hair and his goons. Unable to stay down and take his beating, Purple Hair mocks John as a cripple for not knowing his place in society. Purple Hair uses his ability, and it takes some time to charge before he can attack John. To Claire and Adrian's surprise, the unthinkable happens. John activated his ability, effectively copying Purple Hair's ability, a sphere of energy on his palm, just like how Claire's vision predicted. I think John had his ability since birth. It was just so situational for him to find out, and Claire was the one to actually make him awaken his ability. Take this into consideration. You have this ability, an untrained one at that. Plus, you don't even know about it, so that's also a big factor too. Hard to even awaken it, am I right? The way I see it is that Claire's words gave him the boost in courage he needed to actually fight back and awaken his latent ability. Maybe in the future, he would have had enough and snapped and fought back anyway, provoking powers to be used, thus allowing him to discover his ability. I'm not saying he would have gained his powers for sure without Claire. I think it would have been less likely and take much longer, but I still think it was a very real possibility. Furthermore, with this in mind, Claire shouldn't feel bad about teaching him, because he could have learned this even without her. Initially, Purple Hair was surprised by John, but presumes to dodge John's attack, punching him down to the ground, getting all worked up because John tried to fight back against him. The girl goon calms Purple Hair down, and they leave so that John and his friends can feel sorry for themselves for being low tiers. John's friends comes to his aid to make sure he is fine. Both Claire and Adrian remark that he activated his ability when he was fighting. After finding out he has an ability to fight back for once in his life, John gets really excited to finally not be a cripple anymore. So, are John's memories reliable? We know Keon said he exploited John's insecurities in chapter 90. As of right now, we have no idea what Keon is capable of with his mind-related powers, but it is rightful to assume he is a high tier. After all, they can have some crazy abilities, as we've seen within the series. I wonder if Sarah's also going to look for Adrian, since he was friends with John for much longer than Claire ever was. Anyways, at the very least, John's memories and Claire's don't seem to match. But to be honest, I believe Claire's memories, due to her being in a much better psychological state, and for the fact she has nothing to gain from lying to Sarah. At the moment, I cannot think of anything that would give her a reason to lie. Like, if you guys have anything, like a reason she might want to lie to Sarah, please put it down in the comment section. Well guys, we have reached the end of the video for today. I can't wait to see you guys for future Unordinary videos and other webtoon related content. See you guys next time.